Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are actually going to do a recreation of the look that I've been wearing in the past two videos that you've seen. So it was a super green look. It was inspired by the Tribe palette that I duped with Haley. I will link Haley's video up above, and I will have my video listed down below in the description box, and hers as well, and her channel. Like, she's amazing. You should check her out. I know Haley requested that I do the look that I was wearing using this dupe. I did use every single shade in my little Tribe palette dupe, so I thought that it would be fun to do that in this video. Before we get into the tutorial portion of this video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It does help me out. I really appreciate it. You can come join the cutie family. And yeah, let's just get into recreating this look. Okay, so we're super zoomed in. What I did was I actually primed my eyes using my P. Louise base in Rumor 2, and that is it. So nothing's on my eyes. I do not set my eye primer. So I am going to have a picture of the Tribe palette actually over here, so you can kind of see what shade I am mimicking if you have the Tribe palette, or if you don't, I will have my shades that I'm using listed down below, or you can check out my video from Sunday. The first shade I'm going to go in with is the bright green, and I'll have my brushes also listed, and I'm going to take it on just a fluffy brush. This is the fluffiest brush, or the second fluffiest brush that I'm going to be using today. So that guy there, and I actually like to tap it on to my lid, or like the area first, and then just start blending after I kind of tap it into place. So I hope you can see. Okay, and I do have like a little makeup remover cloth. This is just like a microfiber cloth. I'm just using it to like wipe down my brushes, so I don't have to like necessarily cycle through a bunch of brushes. I can kind of just keep using the same one. If you have a washcloth, if you have a multitude of brushes, you do you. Whatever works for you, just do that. So I'm gonna take mine now, like it's stained, but it's basically clean, and I'm just gonna start fluffing this and try to just blend out the very top portion of that crease, because we don't want it to go from like stark green. I mean, if you want to, that's fine, but I don't want it to go from like stark double mint green to like my own skin color. So I'm just kind of blending that, and I'm holding the brush fairly low, so it just kind of diffuses it a little bit better. So now that we have that just blended out, it didn't take long. I didn't want to do like a crazy blend or anything like that. I'm going to take a slightly more tapered blending brush, and I'm going to go in with the grass kind of green that's in this palette. Load that up, and I'm going to just kind of trace or like stamp right where my crease is. So for me, you can look up or down and figure out where your crease is. So slightly lower from where we put that first shade. So I'm going to kind of do that kind of shape, and then use this brush to blend out initially, and then I'm going to go in with that previous brush and just blend the edges into that like more minty kind of shade. So that previous brush and just blending some more. Okay, so that is kind of everything that I'm doing on for the crease. Really easy. Like it's not too detailed. It doesn't take a long time. I've been recording for 7 minutes. I think like 3 minutes has been blending all of this together. So it really doesn't take a long time. So if you're not used to blending though, just a little bit of patience and a little bit more finessing. If you are not happy with like how everything is blended, I take another like just fluffy brush. This is nothing special, and I just go in ahead and blend a little bit more. There's no product on this brush. This is really just to help meld those colors together and make them as seamless as possible. So the next thing I'm going to do is take the shade that matches like the very lower right side, and that's going to be what we use on the outer corner of the eye. So I'm going to just take a pretty domed, you can't see that, a pretty domed brush like that, load it up, Josh is starting to make dinner, so if you can hear him in the kitchen, I feel like I always can catch the kitchen noises in the background. I don't know why, because it's not like the kitchen's right next to our bedroom. It's like a little bit down the hall, but we are in an apartment, so like everything's just a little bit more condensed. But so if you hear kitchen noises, that is why. So this bottom right green, that like dark matte teal, that's gonna go, I don't know if like I'm showing you the best angle, but that's gonna go right over there. Okay, and then after I kind of do this, I just kind of look down at my mirror. I just find that like looking, oh God, please advise, do you see what I just did? So I like to look down at the mirror during this kind of step. Just, I think it helps, like it helps me figure out the actual shape that I'm going for. It's like, I can throw on shades all day, like looking at it eye to eye, but once I'm looking down, I can kind of see like the shape rather than like lifting my eyebrows up. So, like granted, I still lift my eyebrows up, but it's a little bit less. So I am gonna just, using that shade with the grass green, diffuse the edge of that like deeper tealy green. Then going into that first brush, blend it out even more. Just, it's like a constant battle of blending. You just, every time I lay color down, I usually blend something. Like no matter what, I usually go back to blend. Then just the brush with nothing on it and diffuse that all up. So, and even at this step, I sometimes take this brush and I kind of just run it over the whole thing. So it's not like anything has like a harsh line. So this doesn't matter too much because we're going to put something else on the lid, so it doesn't really matter. That thing that we're going to put on the lid is actually the shade right above. It's that guy there, the like metallic-y teal. I'm going to use the same brush that I used initially. I don't even care about wiping it off, honestly, because the colors are so similar. Just one is matte, one is metallic, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to just load this brush up. Again, same brush that we used before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right a little bit closer in, but also a little bit on top of that last matte deeper green. And this shade, actually, I brought all the way in because we have something that's going to go on top of it and kind of change the color. This is something that might look like nuts before it's all done. Sometimes you got to trust the process. That green grass brush, I'm going to just blend the edge of this guy out because, again, this is just, if I don't want to do a cut crease, I always just want to blend everything that I put down so there's no harsh lines and no like distinct like, oh, that's where you put that color, oh, that's where you put that color. It's, everything just kind of flows and blends. I'm going to use the same brush for almost the entire lower lash line. I think I actually did use the same brush for the entire lower lash line, and I'm fine with that, especially since I'm going to just like wipe her off real quick with my little rag. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go in with the orange from that top row there. I'm going to load her up lightly, and she is going to go, oh gosh, I'm having a hard time doing this. So what I did was I pat the color right on the like center portion, like where, like if you were looking straight dead on, like where your iris is. So I'm going to look straight dead on. I'm going to do this so you can see it, I think, a little bit better. And then I'm going to just pat that right there. And that's going to mean that all of that color deposits there, or the most of the color but deposits there. And then we're going to just blend kind of side to side. That way, that center portion is where most of the color is deposited and everything else just diffuses next to it. So that's exactly what I did on the other eye. What I'm going to do now is taking that middle shade in the palette, same brush, I'm going to pick it up, and this is a metallic, but I find that it looks beautiful on the lower lash line. What I'm going to do with this is going to put it right here. So a little bit to the outer corner of where we just put that matte orange. I'm going to take that clean brush now and just kind of blend these together. I'm going to take a totally clean brush. I think this is totally clean. and just blend everything once under here. Okay, so I apologize if like things look a little different. My camera overheated. The sun is beating down in this room, so like it's kind of a wonder how the camera didn't die earlier. So I'm just gonna carry on. It's gonna be fine. This is gonna be okay. I don't know if the angle changed, and if that's annoying, I do apologize. I have no idea how much I zoomed in. So sorry. Moving forward, I'm gonna take this like olivey, like, I love this color, but it's kind of like a poopy brown. People always say that, and it doesn't make sense until you see it and you're like, ah yes, that is what I would consider a poopy brown. Same brush that I was using. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna kind of bridge the gap since it is a brown, but it does have those green tones. It's gonna work with the orange, and it's also gonna tie in with those greens. Maybe you can see this side better too, I don't know. So all I'm gonna do is kind of pat this area and then just blend. Sorry if it looks creepy that I'm like looking up like this. I just wanna make sure I'm in focus and my camera is not overheating again. My monitor is way up there. So I'm taking that middle bronzy shade and just blending one more time all of that, and then again I'm going to take that matte bright orange and then just make sure that that doesn't get lost either. I'm actually going to pull that in a little bit tighter into the inner section of the lower lash line because we are going to use that bright metallic orange on the very center of the lower lash line. I think it'll just tie this in well, and that is what I did in my last couple videos. I did wipe my brush off so there is no additional product contaminating the sky, but this is just going to go right up as close as I can get it really to the tear duct. And this does have like some teal fallout in the inner corner. It doesn't really matter because I am going to go in with something on the inner corner. So this is just like something to make that lower lash line pop. Yeah, so that is basically the lower lash done. What I want to do is just finish up that upper lid area. I am going to build up that deep teal, the metallic, that guy. I am going to just once over kind of pat a little bit more on because I don't want that to have gotten lost. I do also want to make sure that the matte green didn't get lost, so I am wiping off the same brush and going in with that matte green, the lower right hand corner, and just making sure that this portion is still nice and vibrant but still blends, you know. Then one last time, taking the brush that had that grass green on it and then just kind of buffing the edge of this out. And then I'm going to take the first brush from all of this, the one with that like neon, like yellowy green, and then just blend even more. Then last, we are going to do my favorite, well I guess it's not last, but my favorite part of this look is like the next color, and it's the last color that we haven't used yet, and that is this like what looks like white but is really like a duochrome like goldy green. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love it. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to actually put it on like the inner third of the lid on top of this teal, and it looks so pretty. It just looks so good. So that's what I'm going to do now. And it's okay. I know I'm getting like some fallout on the orange. I don't care too much about that right now. Do you see the difference that makes? It's amazing. It's so good. And then taking that brush from before and then just kind of buffing out where it meets, like where that duochrome stops, I guess. You could even invert this and do the greens on the lower lash line totally and then do the oranges up top. That would also be beautiful. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye and I'll be right back. I'm going to take the brush that I had the first color on and I'm just going to lightly blend this out. I don't want to go in with the one with the grass green because I want this inner portion to just look a little softer. I don't want it to be super, super defined. Just like that. So it's defined, but it's not assertive. Now I'm going to just take a domed pencil brush. I'm going to pick that same duochrome shade because it is the lightest one in this palette. And I'm gonna load her up and we're gonna slap that in the inner corner. All right, and then I'm taking that shade, or the brush that had the orange shades on it, and I'm gonna just like lightly blend this out right here. Just because I want, again, I want a seamless blend, but I don't want it to get overtaken and not have any of that orange right there. That looks pretty much like what I did in my last videos. So I'm gonna just chuck on a little tiny baby wing, because I do enjoy a little tiny baby wing, and my mascara, maybe a waterline, and I will be right back. The angle's gonna change though, so just, you're warned. Okay, I think the sun is setting, so the lighting is a little weird, so I will zoom in so you can see this a little better. So this is the finished look. I did throw on my wing liner, I chucked on a waterline, I put my mascara on, and then on my lips I used my LA Girls Bare Lip Liner, my Colourpop Layover Luxe Lipstick, and then I used the Sailor Moon Ultra Glossy Lip by Colourpop. And I freaking love the formula of this. It is so smooth, but I am sorry, the lighting is actually like becoming trash, so I will zoom down. I will do one of these, hopefully in the sunlight, a little spotlight action, and then you can see what this looks like. I'm like blinding myself staring at the sun right now. But yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed. Haley, let me know if you watched this. Don't forget to check Haley out, and if you liked this video, like it, comment down below what, if any, looks you'd like to see using this or anything else. I do plan on having another dupe video later this month on some new releases, and yeah, I will catch you in my next video. Bye.